A very good morning, dear students. Now let us start our social science class, chapter 15, Globes and Maps. This is from part of geography, chapter 15, Globes and Maps. The ancient men, they believed that the earth is flat and it is having the steep edges. But we know that today it is proved that the earth is not flat, it is the spherical in shape. And in 6th century, the Pythagoras, a Greek philosopher, he was saying that the earth is not flat, it is having the round shape. But no one believed him in that time. And later, the Aryabhatta and the Copernicus, they also said that the earth is not flat and it is the spherical in shape. But in 16th century, the Ferdinand Magellan, he was sailing the ship and he proved that the earth is not the flat, it is having the spherical in shape. Who proved that in 16th century? The Ferdinand Magellan, he proved that the earth is spherical in shape. And we know to study the earth, we look at the large number of the maps or the sketches or the diagram or the pictures and all, and it is not possible to see the whole earth at a time. So we are using when we are looking the sketches or the maps and the diagram or the picture and all to see the whole earth at a time, it is not possible. So we are using the a model of the earth. It is made the model of the earth, and that is the globe, and we are using the globe to see the all the to understand the earth surface and all to at a time. We are using the globe. We can see here the shape of the earth. It is best shown to the help of a globe. This is the globe and it is the model of the earth. How as it is the earth, the same model it is, and here we can see the northern part it is flattened and the southern part also it is flattened and it is inclined, and how the exact the earth, the same model it is the globe also. And again when we are looking, we can find out or many different types of globes are there. Some globes are big and some are small. Some pocket globes are there and some type of balloon globes are there. And it is very easy to, the balloon globes and all, they can fall in the pocket or they can fall and they can carry anywhere. That is the globes. And some big globes and all, it is very difficult to carry and go to the other places. And we can see on the globe we can find out the continents and the countries and the oceans where it is located and all. It is very easy to see from the globe. And again the real earth has no such a needle. We can see here a needle, that is the axis, and the real earth it is not having the needle, and it is rotates around its axis. How the globe it is rotating, the earth it is rotating around its axis, and it is the imaginary line. The axis is an imaginary line and it is passing from the north pole to south pole. The axis is an imaginary line, it is passing from the north pole to south pole. And again we can see the earth has in space, it is also placed in the tilted position. It is not the straight or something, it is having some tilted position. The same way the globe also we can find out. And again we can see the equator. The middle, we can see a line that is called the equator. The equator is a line, it is passing to the middle of the globe and it is dividing the two parts. It is dividing the earth, it is dividing to two parts. It is the equator, it is passing middle of the earth and it is getting the two parts, and it is called the hemisphere. Hemisphere, and the hemi means it is the half and sphere means globe. So when the equator it is passing and two parts it is getting, the topper part it is known as the northern hemisphere and the down part it is known as the southern hemisphere. So the equator it is also an imaginary line, it is passing from the middle of the globe and it is dividing to half of the earth, and the top part it is known as the northern hemisphere and the down part it is known as the southern hemisphere. And we can see all the circle parallel to the equator. We can see some lines are here, that is the circle parallel to the equator, that is the parallel to the latitude, that is known as the parallel to the latitude. And the latitude and the longitude and all we will discuss in the next chapter. And once again we can see the globe, it is the exact model of the earth. The globe, it is the exact model of the earth, and the axis, it is passing from the north pole to south pole, and the equator, it is in the making the earth into, dividing the earth into two halves, the southern hemisphere and the northern hemisphere. And we can see it is very easy to find the location, or the continents and the countries and the oceans and all, we can find out very easily. So it is the globe. And next we can see what is the map. A map is a representation of a whole earth, or the part of the earth. It is drawn in a flat surface. It is known as the map. You can see the map here. The map, it is representation of the whole earth, or a part of the earth. It is drawn in the flat sheet of a paper in accordance with some scales and the direction. That is the map. And we can see in the ancient days and all, the maps were drawn by the Egyptian and the Greek geographers, and their maps were not accurate because of their scanty knowledge. And the well-known geographer, the Ptolemy, he attempted to draw the maps, and he influence lasted till the 16th century. And he draw the maps, and he influence in the 16th century. And gradually, due to the discoveries and the voyages and the travels and the scientific knowledge and all, the maps became more precious and the reliable one. And we can see the maps are now, it is the indispensable for everybody. And the maps, it is saving us not only as a tools, but it is analyzing to understand the geography, but also for the illustrating the geography. We can see here they guide us on the land. The maps are guiding us on the land, whether we travel on the foot, by rail or sand road. And it is very helpful for us when we are traveling by the bus or the train or the foot and all. It is guiding us. And when we are looking at the navigators, they need the maps to steer their ship in the right directions. The navigators they also need the maps. And when we are looking, the air pilots, they also need the maps for their guidance to fly the right direction. And the town planners and the army leaders, they also requiring the maps for their operation. And we can see the map, it is a very useful for us. We need to use the maps to get the right direction when we are traveling and all. It is making us to go the right direction, and it is helping us to realize the places and all, where it is and all. And it is very useful to, we can fold, and we can take it everywhere we are going and all. So the map is very useful for us, and it is the representation of a whole earth, or the part of the earth, or the country and all. It is making, or it is drawing in the flat surface, because it is in the flat surface we can fold and we can take to everywhere. And in the next class we can study about the types of maps and the essential components of the maps and the directions and all. We can discuss in the next class.